What's going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another Bring the Juice Colts podcast live stream. Coming to you live after day 2 is almost done of NFL free agency. Cody, a few more moves to discuss today.
Yeah, a few more. Not a ton more, but a few more. So that's an improvement over day 1.
Right.
So let's talk about it, man. We weren't initially planning to do another live stream tonight, but there were some people who said, hey, you guys should talk about day 2 of free agency. We really, really enjoyed day 1. So we're like, why not? So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, basically just a couple of resigns here and a couple of other guys that were signed outside of the organization, which is weird. We can kind of just start with the 2 resigns. Let's talk about Zaire Franklin and Matt Pryor. How essential was it to bring these 2 guys back?
I think it was essential for special teams and just your offensive line depth, because you did lose Mark Lewinsky yesterday to the New York Giants. So it's important, especially because Pryor can play both tackle and guard. It was essential with how well he played to bring him back. And you get him at pretty much a steal at $5.5 million. Could have go up to about $6 million on a 1-year contract. So yeah, I loved that move. That was probably my favorite move so far of free agency that the Colts have made, albeit they haven't made very many moves yet. But so far, that's my favorite one because I think it was critical to bring him back.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, when I talk about the Zaire Franklin re-signing, I know some people were saying like, man, I don't know why we would have given him $12 million, $4 million a year. But, when you're talking about a guy that, is starting to get some of those defensive snaps, right, that we were wondering if he would ever get. And then on top of it, he's the heart and soul of your special teams unit. It makes sense that you'd want to keep a guy like that around. And, he's 25 years old. He's young. He's a great player. He's a captain. He's a leader. So you kind of need someone like that in your locker room to be one of those guys to galvanize the unit. And, when it comes to special teams, we know Indianapolis has some of the best special teams units in all of football. So when it comes to needing a guy like that, you definitely need to keep Zaire Franklin around.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, he's a key part to this team. Yeah. You don't, that's why when we made the argument and we talked about it, I said, you're not going to let you go your special teams captain. That just doesn't happen. Right. So, yeah, I thought, and the crazy thing was there really wasn't like a ton of moves, or maybe it was a few, but there's still a ton of guys out there, especially at defensive end. Nobody of note got signed today again, at least up to this point. So there's still those 2 guys that we want, right? Zadarius Smith and Chandler Jones. And it seems like Darius Leonard and DeForest Buckner want Chandler Jones as well. I don't know if y'all saw Darius Leonard kind of went ham tonight.
He's taking over for Kenny Moore today.
Yeah. So they're just tweeting.
He's taking over, and DeForest Buckner saying, yeah, him and Chandler Jones would be a deadly duo.
Everybody agrees.
It definitely would be.
Everybody agrees. DeForest Buckner agreed as well. And man, talk about a match made in heaven. Colts and Chandler Jones. Dude, I mean, he's been your guy, Derek, from the very beginning. So if we were able to get him, I mean, that's like a dream come true.
I would be the happiest Colts fan in the world if we got Chandler Jones, honestly.
Yes.
And I know it sounds crazy, but man, I hope that's what happens. I mean, we can kind of go into before we'll get into the defensive end position here shortly. But let's keep talking about some of the guys that we did end up getting. Now, can you please remind me of his last name? Because again, I'm probably going to botch it.
Yeah. So the Colts signed former Raiders DB, Brandon Faison today. He's a corner. He's 6'2", nearly 200 pounds around there. He's been with Gus Bradley, from last year, obviously with the Raiders, but also in his Charger days as well. So he has some serious ties to this defense. And I think as a number 4 corner, that's perfectly fine to have. If he's your number 4 corner, you're doing pretty well at corner. Like I think he's a guy that, you don't necessarily want to count on as a full-time starter, but he can, jump in a pinch when need be. I mean, he did last year for the Raiders. He started in 9 games for them, but you just add some more veteran corner depth and a guy that's very familiar with this system. I mean, I like the move from that standpoint. It's nothing eye-popping. It's not like the Chandler Jones or anything like that, the prize free agent, but it's a solid signing, right? It's a solid signing. You talked about how, he has his warts. He's not a perfect corner at all. He certainly has things he isn't that great in, but like, I think he's shown at least a little bit of signs of improvement from year to year, and with a little bit more snaps this year, because Trayvon Mullen was out for essentially the entire year for the Raiders, he got an opportunity, and I think he took a very big advantage of that opportunity. And, now he's going with Gus Bradley, and I think Gus Bradley's been able to get the most out of him. So, yeah, from that standpoint, I am totally okay with this signing. It's just like, you wish this wasn't your first signing, but like, I'm okay with it. As for what it is, I'm okay with it.
Right. I mean, let's just call it what it is. It's just depth at the corner position. And
yeah,
you get a guy that when it comes to the depth position, you want guys that are familiar with your defensive scheme. And Gus Bradley obviously has a lot of history with this guy, so it makes sense. And this is a comment that I wanted to bring up because there was that clip that got brought out really quickly when the Colts signed him. There is a very good, solid clip of him that says that when he was going up against Tyreek Hill against the Chiefs, there was one play where Tyreek Hill was going on a straight out route. He was trying to burn Faison off the edge. And what's great about him is, along with being long and lanky like he is, he's actually kind of aggressive at the point of attack, right? He does a really great job of hand placement on that play specifically. He actually did a great job of hitting Tyreek Hill's main arm thrust, getting that arm motion going. He actually did a good job of stopping it, which helped slow his initial burst off the line, and then being able to use his hand. He did a great job of, even though he was burnt a little bit, Tyreek Hill was trying to get that arm to kind of separate some distance a little bit. And Brandon did a great job of not only sticking with him, but fighting that hand off. So that way he never lost position on Tyreek Hill and never turned back for the ball. He actually just went up and got it. Hold on. Are we seeing a Tyquan Lewis thing right now?
I don't know. I was just going to play that.
We got some people that are mentioning Tyquan Lewis.
Okay. Let me go check.
Yeah. Yeah, here it is. Yeah.
Re-signing Tyquan Lewis, 1 year, $3 million.
$3 million.
$3 million. Great re-signing. Great re-signing to Tyquan. Yes. I think it's smart to only get him for 1 year because of that injury. That's a major injury, right? You don't know if he's going to get back to 100. He probably will, but low risk, potentially high reward. Tyquan Lewis, I mean, Chris Ballard, bro. Talking about all these defensive linemen, I think he was talking the most about Tyquan Lewis on the defensive ends. Like, he talked about how when he went out in that Tennessee game, is out for the year, like the Colts lost something when they lost Tyquan. So I think it's a great re-signing to bring back him. Definitely. Now you feel a little bit better. You're like, okay, we're retaining a couple key guys we wanted to keep back. We lost a few guys already, but for the most part, this is a smart move in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you mentioned it. Tyquan Lewis, of all the guys that were on this defensive line, he mentioned it that when Tyquan Lewis went down, something happened to this defense that it wasn't the same after that. And it's great. And Matt's like, yeah, I'll be back. I got to go make a video on Lewis. Cody, if anything, just cut this. Do you want to just cut this and we can just talk about it?
I tell you what we can do, guys. We'll be back. We can just put this on pause for a second. We'll just put the word, we'll be right back or something just on here. We'll be back, guys. We just want to record our reaction real fast to this. And we want to get this video up as soon as possible because we feel like time-sensitive stuff is important.
Let me make it quick. Hold on.
But when we get back, don't forget, I was going to actually pull up that clip you were talking about, Derek, and I was going to just play it for our listeners. Okay. But yeah, guys, we will be back here just in a minute. So if you guys will just hold on, we'll be back. We're just going to go talk about this Tyquan Lewis news. So while you're waiting, go and check out our other couple videos that we talked about, right? I don't I don't want that one, Derek, because that's
Yeah, of course, because it's got Carson on it, right?
But no, go check out our other videos. We just did a couple different videos on a couple of the players the Colts re-signed and signed today. We're going to go do this video real fast, and we shall be back. So let's do that.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Okay, so here, let me just fix this to where it's okay. Quick break in the stream here. Okay, sweet. How I'm going to leave this. What up, Colts Nation? I'm back. What's up? Sorry, guys. We had to do a quick video on the Tyquan Lewis news, so I apologize about that. We just had to take a quick break in the action, and we had to get the stuff going. Be upfront, chat. Is there any real chance we get Chandler Jones? I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, Chandler Jones wants to go somewhere where he feels valued. He wants to go somewhere where it's nice. And I think Chandler Jones would love being with this defense. It's just something that happens. And the Colts players are making it known how much they want Chandler Jones, right? So we'll see what happens. So Cody will be back in a minute, guys. He's editing the Tyquan Lewis video. We need a boost in the pass rush, a serious one. Yeah, and that's what Chandler Jones would provide. Cody, come back here in a minute, guys, and then we'll make sure we keep going with the latest news. What's everybody thought of day 2 of free agency? What's something that got crazy? I'll say what the DJ Chark signing this morning really put me at ease. What do you guys think about the rumor that if Watson chooses Atlanta, Matt Ryan would waive his no trade clause for Indy? That'll be interesting. I know that they're not the front runners for this, so we'll see. I don't know. I can't tell you right now what would happen. So, Yo, Lewis Day, Allen Robinson's still up. Thank you to the 101 of you in here right now. If you guys could, please be sure to like the stream if you can, please. Helps it get it out to more and more people. Greatly appreciate everybody being there. So that is 3 re-signings today. I was saying that yesterday, like we haven't even re-signed any of our guys recently. So, it's nice to see Ballard at least making some of those, and the Colts still have over $55 million in cap space. Yeah, JK. Yeah, I do not want Juju. I'm just saying. Who's our QB? Well, I don't know yet. We're going to talk about that here shortly when Cody gets back in here. Well, yeah, we still need a quarterback, Blue Nation. I get that. We're definitely still going to need one. Denmark is listening. Hey, Christian Frandenson, what's up, man? Big money still there for an impact player. I'm telling you, man. It can still happen. Would love Matt Ryan there. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't mind Matt Ryan. It's just the problem is the contract. I just don't know how much we'd have to pay for him. Please. Rayzilla, please do not say that. Please don't. We do not want Baker Mayfield. Nobody wants Baker Mayfield. His own team doesn't want him. Jarvis Landry doesn't want anything to do with him. Yes, I would cheer for Juju if he played for us, but I still don't want him. Darius GM Leonard. Colts are hiding all the big moves. I don't know about that. No, we do not want cap. We already have enough cap. We don't need a KAP cap. Don't need one. Colts are about to make a big move tomorrow, calling it. I would hope. Atlanta would have a $57 million cap hit. Holy cow. Give me Armstead. Hey, I wouldn't be opposed to Armstead. I just don't know if I'd want to spend that much money, you know? Winston, hey, Joshua, I'm right there with you, man. I'm kind of okay with Jameis Winston, honestly. Yeah, I'd agree there, honestly. Man. Deshaun to the Saints. Please no. Chandler Jones and Allen Robinson, bro. That would be insane. Honestly. Oh, man. Thank God Colts Nation's not our general manager. Well, I mean, thank God that the majority of fan bases are not their general manager. Thank you guys for the great content, Justin. Greatly appreciate that, man. We're trying, man. We're trying to stay as quick and up to date on this stuff as possible. You know, how many videos did we make today? I mean, good Lord. We had 1, 2, 3, and 4. The fourth one's just about to come up, and then there's the live stream right here. Yes, Pascal's a free agent. Listening to Reggie Wayne interview, and these receivers are about to go to work. Oh, yeah. Reggie Wayne don't mess around, man. Sign cap space to a multi-year deal. Hey, bro. You made 4 now, Matt. Hey, listen, dude, that's what you got to do at this time of year, man. You got to be prepared for this stuff, you know? I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it definitely is a lot because, you know, you want to try to be available. That's the problem is a lot of times trying to be available for this is sometimes the worst. You guys were right. Chris Ballard is doing the defense right. If he just gets Chandler Jones, the defense would be set. It's that's exactly what it is. It's exactly it. You get Chandler Jones, your defense is almost set the way it is at that moment. Hey, that's how you know you're a good content creator when you enjoy it, man. When you enjoy doing the content. Reese, what's up, my dude? Pascal's a good run blocker, though. Yeah, I know, but receivers get paid to catch the ball more often, so that's more important. Somebody called Drew Brees or Doug Flutie. I would call Drew Brees if I thought that he could throw the ball more than 40 yards. Yeah, Tyrann Mathieu, or we set at safety. I would not want to pay Tyrann Mathieu just because I feel like we're okay at safety. It's kind of the same thing with Bobby Wagner. You know, of course, it'd be a better option, but for the cost, can spend that money somewhere else, you know? Yeah. Yeah, Chandler Jones, surprising, just no news about him yet. It's just weird. Come on, Cody, you son of a gun. He's editing, guys. You got to give him some time. So cool that Reggie is a coach. Yeah, tell me about it, dude. I'm glad for that. Derek, I need an Ohio State podcast. Bro, I've literally been thinking about doing that on my main channel. On my actual YouTube channel. You think I should do that? I've really been thinking a lot about doing that. I think that I probably should. Hell, I enjoy content as is, and I'm almost as invested into Ohio State as I am the Colts. Maybe I should do that. Just unedited, unfiltered, you know, stuff like that. So you second that? All right. All right. I'm thinking I'll probably do it, to be honest. I think that I probably could. You're a Buckeye fan too, Tyrone? Hey, I got you. Should we bring back Hilton? I don't know, man. Hilton for the price tag. I'm not 100% sure unless you can get him on a friendly deal. Derek,
All right.
the Final Four. Hey, Cody, what's up? Let me think. I had my Final Four.
What's being asked here? Final
Four.
Four?
I'm talking about college basketball here.
Oh,
probably
okay.
something you know nothing about.
No, not really.
It was Gonzaga, Tennessee. Gosh. I can't even remember. I'll be honest. I know Tennessee and Gonzaga were in there, though. Do you think Leonard is giving the fan base false hope? No, of course not. He's not saying anything.
He's just being silly.
Trying to get some guys to talk. So,
what a day, bro.
Yeah, I was just telling him that you know, what 4 videos now and a live stream. You and I've been putting in work today.
Yes, we have. It's almost
Calvin,
like
I would like to agree with that, but I don't think that's true. Jackson Smith and Jigba is going to be the best wide receiver in football next year.
You think?
Oh yeah, 100%. Hold on. I'll pull it up just to kind of give you, just to give you an idea of what his stats look like at the end of the season. Okay, so hold on. I want to pull this up. Stats last 5 games.
Sorry,
I'm looking this up. I'm making sure I know. So so this is it. So the last 5 games of the season for Jackson Smith and Jigba. Okay, so remind you, and I'm sorry if anyone doesn't care, but I'm talking about it one time, and then we're going back to Colts football and NFL. Okay, give me 1 second. So I love Marvin Harrison Jr. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is definitely going to be a really good wide receiver coming at some point. I definitely believe so. But here's the thing. Jackson Smith and Jigba against Nebraska. 15 receptions for 240 yards and a touchdown. Next game against Purdue, which is probably a fan favorite in here, 9 receptions for 139 yards and 1 touchdown. Next game against Michigan State, 10 catches for 105 yards and a touchdown. The next game in their loss against Michigan, that loss, 11 receptions for 127 yards and no touchdowns. And then against Utah in the Rose Bowl, 15 catches for 347 yards and 3 touchdowns. In those 5 games, he averaged 12 catches a game for nearly 200 yards and 2 touchdowns in those games. That's insane. I don't care who you're playing. That's insane. And it's funny because Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave, who are going to be, potential round 1 picks, right? Have been saying Njigba is better than both of us. I mean, that doesn't tell you something. I mean, holy cow, man. Njigba is going to be the best wide receiver by a long shot. And it's not even close. And the funny thing is, he was a 3-star recruit coming out of high school, believe it or not.
Wow.
Everybody talks about these 5 stars, bro. Everyone talks about these 5 stars. 5 stars do really well most of the time, but some of these 3 stars are the ones that are just insane.
Gotta watch out for them.
Absolutely.
Now I'm like, I feel like I'm doing like 3 things right now. I'm scrolling Twitter to make sure nothing else happens.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm uploading the video and I'm trying to be here as well. So
I feel you. We're all good. So you said you wanted to show that clip.
Yes. Just give me 1 sec here. I'll pull it up.
Okay. We'll do that. And then we'll talk about the quarterback situation.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
What up, Nick?
All right. Let me see if I can pull this up. Let me share my screen.
Well, share it, man.
I'm doing it. Okay.
Can you make that full screen?
Yeah. I didn't know you put it in there. Okay. Yeah. All right, here we go. This is new Colts cornerback here.
So yeah, just a couple quick things. Yeah, just
corner.
play it once, and then I'll break it down what I'm seeing. Okay.
Yep.
Go ahead.
I have to tell you, this kid Brandon Faison has made an impression on me. He's not one of those guys who
All right, so yeah, just stop it right here. So take a mental note of where he is. He does not lose any ground before he actually makes contact with Tyreek Hill on this play. If you just go forward just a few seconds at the point of attack, I know it's kind of difficult because it kind of chips away right there. So right there, the great thing about it is when he makes initial contact, he loses almost no yardage, which is great. Means he gets contact on him before he's even able to do anything. And the few times that I've seen a few clips of him, he does a really great job of that hand coordination at the beginning, which is great to see. Especially if you're going up against a speedy guy like this. The next thing he does is he gets that hand on that arm, that left arm, to not make sure that he can't get that speed going up. And then as you're watching this clip go through, go ahead, play it again. Just watch the hand.
One more time. Okay.
Now watch the hand hold off that right arm. Watch Tyreek Hill try to create separation on the right hand. Yeah, see the hand movement of that. Just move it back a little bit more. You see Tyreek Hill trying to create some separation with that right arm, see? But yet Faison does a really great job of just keeping that hand right there, just not grabbing, but just like swatting, which is great. And then it forces Tyreek Hill to have to go up and get it, which is great. So, again, you see a bunch of clips like that. Faison does a really great job of the hands, which is really good for his size.
And also, like, the fact that he's able to even keep up with Tyreek at his size, nearly 6'2" to 200 pounds, that's impressive enough right there for me, Like, wow, like, not a lot of corners can keep up with Tyreek Hill, especially bigger corners. So I like that. And people people kind of look at the stats a little bit, and those can always be misleading, but I look at, like, the guys he's playing against, Derek, like Tyreek Hill, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, even some of his other guys he was playing against, like Hunter Renfrow, throwing other names. Like, he was playing against a lot of darn good receivers, in Vegas, right? So, yeah, I mean, the completion percentage, we talked about it, how, this was like the first time he got more of an extended role in the defense, and the completion percentage actually went down. It was like under 55% or something like that?
It was like 55.5%.
Okay, so that's a lot better. It was like 70% a year prior. So it seems like he's improving with the more snaps he's getting.
It was 70.5% his second year with the Chargers, and the third year with the Chargers, it was actually 75.5%. So it actually went up his second year, but then from his second to third year, as playing the snaps that he is, I mean, it's just gone down tremendously.
Yeah, which you love to see that. It's like sometimes when he's not playing that many snaps, the stats can look skewed, like he's worse than he is, right?
Right.
Or he's better than he is. We've seen that too, like where guys don't really have a lot of sample size, but they're like, man, this guy only allowed like 40% of the passes or whatever. And you're like, well, he only had, not even like half the defensive snaps. So, oh man.
Yeah. So overall, I mean, I'm enjoying, I'm enjoying seeing, at least there's some good film to that. I mean, and you're right. This guy's had to face some really freaking good receivers in that division. So, it makes it very helpful for sure.
I'll stop sharing the screen. All right.
Okay. So we can kind of talk about the quarterback situation a little bit. So I think the big one, and everyone's still talking about Watson.
Yeah.
How would you feel about this, Cody? Because it's been brought up several times about if Atlanta somehow got Watson, that Ryan would waive his no trade clause to come to Indy.
I mean, again, stats are misleading. Last year was kind of ugly for Matt Ryan. I mean, in a lot of ways, But I say that, and we would have said the same about Phillip Rivers, right? With the Chargers the year prior before coming to Indianapolis, like Frank Reich gets the best out of his quarterbacks. So that contract obviously is big. We might have to do some restructuring, or Atlanta might have to take on some of that cap. I feel like for any of these like other quarterbacks, him or Jimmy G, I almost would want them to take on some of the contract because they are pretty large contracts. But again, we have $60 million in cap space, so maybe we can afford it.
And from what it sounds like is that if he were to get traded, the Falcons would be eating a good chunk of that contract.
Okay.
To get rid of him.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like, would it hurt Derek? And again, what would they want? Like that's the question. But if it's not too awful, what would you be opposed
he'd
to? Like,
be a stepping stone,
right? He's not going to be your future, right? So would you be opposed to signing him? I don't know how many more years he has on that contract, but playing that contract out. Okay, so you play that contract out for 2 years. Maybe next year you go get a quarterback that can essentially sit behind him for a year. If you trade up for one of those quarterbacks, you sit behind him for a year, get a year of experience under a really, good quarterback and a very knowledgeable quarterback. And then he plays the next year. You let him walk or he retires, and boom, there you go.
And that's if, Watson ends up choosing the Falcons, right? But it sounds like the two teams that are in the biggest running is the Saints and Carolina. And from what I've heard, the Saints have pitched the best offer.
Yeah. So we'll see.
The
Deshaun Watson sweepstakes are very interesting to follow.
Oh, I just want the Colts to just sign Winston at this point.
Yeah.
I don't care how much flack I get for that. Jameis Winston, to me, seems like the one that has the most upside of everyone else that's left on this freaking board.
Right. Yeah, there's not a ton of good options. I mean, there weren't a lot of good options to start with, but even now, I feel like there's even less options.
Right.
So it's like, ugh.
All right. Well, let's kind of talk real quick about some of the latest signings.
Yes.
So the one that I was not woken up to, but like the first one, big one that everyone was talking about, DJ Chark getting signed by the Detroit Lions for a 1-year, $10 million fully guaranteed contract. What were your thoughts on that?
I mean, would you have done that, Derek? Like, I might have been interested in doing that. 10 million's a lot.
I wouldn't have given him a 1-year deal. I might have done something like a 2-year deal that would have been like a lot of that money is up front, a similar guarantee, and you get a chance. But I see why he would choose the 1-year deal because of the fact that, again, it's one of those things where it's a prove it deal for you, right? You want to do it one time. And then if you show you can stay healthy, you show you can produce, then you're going to get paid a lot more next year. But I would not have done a 10 million fully guarantee, but I would have done something similar.
Yeah. That's a lot for DJ Chark, who potential, I think, is the word for him. Like, he's never truly been that guy. And again, being went the Jaguars, like, how much do you fault him? How much do you fault the Jaguars organization? What would be your thoughts on Minshew? Because I'm kind of coming around to it. Like, I would not be opposed to Minshew. I'll just say that.
I wouldn't be opposed to Minshew. I wouldn't. It just depends on, what would we have to give up to get him? Because, obviously I don't want to give up a lot for a guy like Minshew because, he's just going to be a stepping stone, but I just think that when it comes to the quarterbacks that you wouldn't have to trade for, the ones that are available left, Jameis Winston to me just seems like the best guy for that. It just seems like just this last year threw 14 picks and 3 interceptions in his first couple games.
Touchdowns.
Touchdowns to 3 picks. I mean, it's just like, I just think that would work, and somebody said earlier, doesn't think that he's a Frank Reich guy at all. I don't agree. I think that
what is a Frank Reich guy.
What is a Frank Reich guy? I mean, Jameis Winston just showed you this last year. He can run still. He still has a little bit of movement. He doesn't have to be this weird, crazy guy. He just has to be able to move a little bit. And Jameis Winston can still do that.
Yeah, he can. He's got the most upside of any of these guys you would sign, right? So I don't know, man. I haven't heard like anything on the Jameis Winston front, like at all. So is that potentially good news for the Colts? You know, if nobody's really interested in him, could they sign him to a really cheap deal if they wanted to go that route? I don't know.
A Frank Reich guy is someone who's willing to work. Yeah, but I mean, like, he has shown that he's willing to work. I mean, just over the last 2 years, what has Sean Payton and Drew Brees been getting him to do?
Right.
You know, I think that it makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's no great options for, you know, it's like the
Unless
best of the
you get
rest.
Derek Carr, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Or if you buy the sense that Jimmy G's trade value is going to drop recently.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to ask you, what are your thoughts on, I know Darius Leonard kind of went on a Twitter crazy tonight, just, you know, tagging people and saying you should come to the Colts and stuff. One that was different. And I don't know if it's just because he doesn't have a Twitter or not, but Marquez Valdez-Scantling, like he just tweeted that. And then like with the eyes, which again, it's Twitter. You know, Kenny Moore, how many times did he bait people into thinking the Colts are going to make a move and they didn't? But like, I kind of look at that and I'm like, I mean, that's different than the other ones. The other ones, he was tagging the guys and saying, you should come to the Colts. But for Scantling, all it was just the name and the eye emoji. And I'm like, does that mean something's potentially in the works here? Because that tweet was a lot different than all the other ones. So no idea.
I think you're looking too much into it. But either way, you know, Scantling has been a name that has been linked to the Colts from day one. So, you know, it's been in the preliminary stages. So
yeah,
I think
the Colts have had interest.
The Colts have had interest. They might have had some of the most interest of any team out there so far. So you never know. You never know.
Yep. It's the only, he's the only one that he actually like tweeted and didn't like reply or whatever. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
We will see. Oh man. Long freaking day, man. I'm so hoping that the Colts make a move tomorrow.
You know, I feel like tomorrow is the best chance at this point.
4 p.m. tomorrow is when all these guys are officially able to sign the contracts that they have made. So, I mean, some of the biggest ones that were taken today, Marcus Williams signing with the Ravens to a 5-year, $70 million contract. I love Marcus Williams. The funniest one, the most crazy one was Randy Gregory.
Oh my word.
Randy Gregory, who signs a 5-year, $70 million deal with the Dallas Cowboys, his team that he played for currently. And then 15 minutes later decides, nah, I'm going to go to the Broncos for the same deal. Broncos came calling and they asked, and it's like, okay, yeah, sure. I'll go play with Russell Wilson. Hey, listen, does that make you think, does that honestly throw the assumption out there that he doesn't have faith in what the Cowboys are trying to do?
Great question. I don't know how that happens. That was so weird.
The only reason that a guy would go from the team he's played his entire career on, right? And hold on. All right, yeah, you got me there. You got me. But no, but I think the thing is that when you've spent your entire career at a spot and you're about to get paid, and another team calls you and gives you the same deal and says, do you want to go play with us or you want to go play with them? Giving you the same deal. I mean, again, I think he trusts Russell Wilson and what the Broncos are trying to do more than Dallas, which is really odd. I don't know how you would think that, but you know, whatever.
It's funny. Jaguars fan in here is talking trash after they pay Christian Kirk $84 million.
Yeah, you just paid Christian Kirk $21 million over the next 4 years, bro. A year. I don't want to hear anything.
That's a lot.
Actually get more than 4 wins in your season, and then you can come talk to us. 5-12 was a good season for Jacksonville. Yeah, that's right. Whatever.
Trash
Lions
talking
talk.
is back, huh?
Yeah, trash talk always here, man. What up? Man, oh man.
Yeah, what a day, bro. Like we were just like, what is happening? Like, why are the Colts doing literally nothing? And then they just all of a
And
sudden
then there's
Ballard's
a whole bunch of re-signings.
Ballard's just like, screw you guys. I'm gonna make these moves.
Jeez. I'm telling you what, man. Hey, and listen, if anyone hasn't seen our videos yet, we highly encourage you go check them out. We've done like 5 videos today.
Let's go look at them.
Yeah,
Let's
so
see how they're doing. So
well,
yeah, we
I
did.
can show you the Brandon Faison video is already at 1,350 views.
Jeez.
That went up that literally went up. What has it been? Less than 3 hours ago.
That's nuts, bro.
That's crazy. I'll tell you what, man,
doing
people
well.
want to know the one Colts signing that they've made outside of their organization, right?
Yes, for a depth corner. It's great.
I can only imagine what it would be like if we signed Chandler Jones.
Biggest video on the channel.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, you'd see, no pants, bro. I'm not even joking. If that happens, I'm going pantless.
Oh, yeah, I remember this. Gregory said he didn't think the write-up of the contract respected his past. Dallas wrote in it that they get to take money back if he misses time for drugs or mental health.
Huh. I didn't know that. I didn't look into it much.
Yeah, I kind of heard something about it. Rap Sheet said the Colts were in on Gregory. Getting views is the best. Yeah, you know it.
Heck yeah, bro. I mean, you guys, the Lions have actually had some stuff to talk about. Oh, yeah, that has a Twitter account now.
Yeah, he has a Twitter account now. Believe me, I know. My friends remind me of it every day.
Was it your brother?
No, it's not my brother.
You know who it is?
No, I don't know who it is.
All right, Derek's breadstick DM me.
I have a suspicion though. I have a suspicion.
Indiana Sports Talk. It's probably him.
It's probably him. Because he's done that a million times before.
Yeah, right. But now it's gone to Twitter and it's like, whew.
I think it's hilarious that Kenny Moore and Darius are actively recruiting. Hey, I mean, I'm telling you, man. Derek, did you see Ballard was trying to get a deal made for Davante Adams? Look, I'm just saying, okay? Cody, listen, hear me out here for a second. Hear me out. 3-year contract, $90 million for Davante Adams right now.
Jeez. That's nuts, bro. Why would he come to want to play here? We don't have a quarterback.
We'll get any quarterback. I don't care, but he wants to be paid.
Why would he?
Why would he not want it? Why would he want it? Why would he not? I mean, look, why is he saying that he won't play under the tag? Why is he? I mean, that's the whole point. He's saying, I don't want to play under the tag. He wants to play with a long-term contract. He wants a long-term, fully paid, big contract because he's the best wide receiver in the game and he deserves to be paid higher than anyone else in the game. I mean, that's the truth. That's the truth. And DeAndre Hopkins is getting paid almost $28 million. It's time that Davante Adams gets $30 million. I'm just saying he's not going to settle for anything less. And they ain't going to be able to keep him. I don't think they will. Do you see how much money they're paying Rodgers the first 2 years?
Yeah.
He's averaging $62.5 million over the first 2 seasons. They can't afford to pay Davante Adams $30 million. They can't afford that. I thought it was not even that bad when we were talking about it the other day. It's even worse now. It's even worse. The Packers made it worse.
Yeah, they did. So, like, okay, Davante Adams, say that crazy thing happens and we somehow were able to land him. Who's throwing him the football? That's my question.
I don't know, but it doesn't matter. You get Davante Adams.
Yes, but you need to get somebody to get him the ball, though.
We'll find somebody. I mean, you can find somebody Okay, it's $30 million. That's half of our cap that we have left. We still have the other half, Cody.
Bro. We spend half of our cap this year on a one wide receiver.
No, not the whole thing. I mean, we're still re-signing guys, but $30 million is half of what we have left. But it's Davante freaking Adams.
Nobody wants
Jay
to.
Shots. The only reason anyone wants to play with the Jaguars is because y'all pay them that way.
Yeah.
Y'all overspend all the freaking time.
See, Derek, this guy understands. This is one of your top 5 worst takes. I agree with that.
Yeah, whatever.
This is nuts, bro.
No, it's not nuts.
It is nuts.
What? Saying that he will, or saying that we should?
Saying that we should. I don't think we should. I don't care how good he is. I ain't paying $30 million per year. No freaking way, bro. It's not one with one wide receiver.
I would say I would do that if we had a quarterback. If we had our quarterback in place.
If that was the only move left to do, okay. But we have a lot of moves still to do.
Listen, man, cap is a mythical thing. Okay.
Yeah, apparently we're on the other side of it, where we think if we have the most cap, we win some prize.
Played last season with no cap. They were under cap, and yet somehow they got they retained all their guys.
I'll tell you what, we just get a rookie contract that we can go all in, like the Chargers are doing, or something like that. But we can't
trade for Carr and get Davante, reunite the college teammates.
Good gosh,
how much that team is immediately a contender with Derek Carr and Davante Adams and Jonathan Taylor. Come on, man.
Lord. And Pittman.
Oh
my!
Come on, man. You know
we're living in.
You know that's true,
bro. You know it's not happening. Let's just.
I know it's not happening, but I'm just saying. All right. Oh man, guys, we're getting Derek Carr plus Davante broke. Yeah, we don't have to be in positive cap, Cameron. I'm just telling you. There's a couple teams that do it every freaking year. Don't know how they do it, but they do it. Oh, it's a long day, guys. Believe me, it's been a long day. We're just throwing stuff out there.
Derek's tired. Let him be. He needs a breadstick.
I need my sleep.
In your breadstick.
If I had bread right now, I would freaking eat some. But
bro, okay, this guy's saying Christian Kirk is better than Pittman, bro. Oh, I mean, you certainly pay him like he is, but Pittman had better stats last year. So you tell me what.
And with the worst quarterback too. So
yeah, exactly.
Because Kirk was a number 2 receiver.
It's not worth it. Oh man. Well, we're right around an hour, Derek. We've been doing a lot of crap today. I'm kind of tired, honestly.
Same, dude. I'm trying to wrap my head around everything that's going on.
Yes, me too.
Prediction: Chris Ballard and Frank Reich will be fired if the Colts miss the playoffs again. I don't think that's a bold prediction. I think that's facts. It might be more Ballard than Reich, though.
I mean, they're kind of tied together, though, right? You think they'd both go out together?
Maybe, but
makes sense to me. But again, free agency hasn't even officially started yet. So tomorrow we'll find out a lot.
Yep, very true. Can't wait for the Jags to sweep the Colts. Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. That's never happened. In 20 years?
Yeah.
Maybe it was 25. Maybe it was 30. I don't know.
People are funny. Well, we have anything else, Derek, we want to talk about? I think we've talked about.
We talked about the guys that we've re-signed today. We talked about some of the moves that went down. We talked about some guys at quarterback that we want. We talked about some of the guys that got signed elsewhere. We talked about the defensive ends, talked about Jones and Smith. It's just don't think there's much else to really say,
No.
And breaking down just maybe a few names that are still left. But other than that, it's We're kind of just still waiting for the Colts to maybe make a move.
Yep. Waiting for that splash move. We don't need a ton of them. I just need a couple, and then I'll be happy.
Absolutely. Oh,
I'll be happy. Bro, this is one of like 3 Jaguars fans I know.
Also, anyone that suggests Baker Mayfield to hear, please unsubscribe.
Please, bro.
Please.
I don't want to do. Yeah, please don't. Oh, that would be rough.
Doug Peterson over Frank Reich. Yeah, sure.
The guy who won him a Super Bowl. How long have the Jags even been around? Bro, can we just move them to London already? Jeez.
Yeah, for real.
You got Dion, you got a 4th string corner, so there you go. That's not good enough. I mean, that's all in, right? That's all chips in. Right there.
That's the all chips in motto. Okay.
Right.
That's how it starts.
Right. Yeah.
I am not I would much rather pay Winston $16 million for a year than pay Mayfield and then on top of it have to trade for him.
Ugh, that just sounds awful. Yeah, Caleb, to answer your question, this is the good question. Do you guys see Pryor a chance at left tackle? We actually talked about it briefly in the video. Yes, I think that he should at least be in the competition for a left tackle, right? Especially with not bringing back Eric Fisher. I think it's probably a must at this point. If you guys are just hopping in here, we can talk just briefly. We can go over one more time, Derek. The guys that the Colts brought in, they brought in one guy today outside of the organization, and they re-signed a few guys as well. So if you guys aren't up to speed yet, the Indianapolis Colts re-signed Zaire Franklin, key special team linebacker, to I believe it was a 3-year deal, about $12 million or so. They also brought back 2 more guys. They brought back Matt Pryor, who was an offensive tackle. The Colts traded for him last offseason from the Philadelphia Eagles. And he actually filled in really well for Braden Smith when he was out for basically half the season. And he also filled in well at right guard when the Colts got hit in that COVID game with the Cardinals. So they brought him back. And then it's just recently, actually at the beginning of this stream, the Colts brought back Tyquan Lewis as well, who's a key defensive piece there at the defensive line rotation, who obviously blew out his knee in that Tennessee game, didn't play the full season. And but he was ascending as well. And then the Colts also, their guy that they signed outside of the organization was a former Vegas DB who was with Gus Bradley last year, Brandon Faison. So that's the moves the Colts have made today. There are hopefully going to be a lot more moves that we see here. Derek, let's talk real fast because we're getting close to an hour. Let's talk about potentially some other players that could get re-signed in the next day or two. Who are some guys looking at the whole Colts free agent guys, the list of free agents, right? We talked about the different tiers. We didn't even get to all the different tiers.
Yeah.
But who are some of the guys that you think potentially still should be at least considered to be brought back, and who would you definitely bring back, if anybody?
Well, if I'm talking about guys that I think need to be re-signed, Chris Reed's name definitely comes to mind. You absolutely need to re-sign him. Then when I'm talking about some of these other guys that need to be re-signed, I'd like to keep Kamoko Toure. That's the only other one.
Okay.
Outside of that, I don't think there's anyone else in the free agent market that I deem that the Colts absolutely have to bring back.
I would say 2 guys I definitely want to bring back. Taylor Stallworth,
yes,
for one. And these are the guys you didn't already mention. Taylor Stallworth. You talked about Chris Reed. You talked about Toure. George Odom, I would bring him back. Definitely.
Ashton Dulin,
which the Colts actually signed. I don't know if you saw that or not, but with Ashton Dulin, I want to say it's like some weird thing that I haven't heard before. Basically, it's like if a team offers, the Colts can I think they gave him a tender or something. I want to see. Okay, so yeah, they placed a right of refusal tender on Ashton Dulin, which gives them the chance to match any offer he gets elsewhere. So hopefully that means he stays around. You know, and I would not be opposed to TJ Carey either. Now, the Colts obviously signed another corner, so maybe that kind of eliminates him, but he also has some versatility at safety as well. So I wouldn't mind him as just a vet guy that you could potentially just, kind of bring in. I would not be opposed. And again, we'll see, depending how the market shakes out. What if you brought back T.Y. Hilton on a 1-year vet minimum? I'd be okay with that.
I'd be okay with it.
I'd be all right. And if he goes somewhere else, okay. Like last year, we were clamoring, bring T.Y. home, the whole movement there.
Yeah.
And just with how fragile he is at this point in his career with, he's missed last year, he missed more games than he played. Almost. It seems like he didn't, but it seemed like he did. There were some games where he didn't really get involved. I would be all right if he went somewhere else, as much as that would hurt to see him in a different uniform. I'm kind of like 50-50 on T.Y. Depends on the price for me.
Yeah, I'm the same way as you.
Anybody else that you guys would say TJ Carey didn't even play the season? What do you mean he was trash? He didn't hardly play, bro. How can you say he was trash?
Right.
But is there anybody else you guys would potentially bring back that we didn't mention?
I'm just hoping we can get a season in with limited injuries.
Yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, I think that's all. I just wanted to go over the free agents that are still available that we could potentially re-sign, that we want to re-sign. Caden, that's a great question, man. I wish we could tell you. Our hope is that he signs a couple big name splash free agents. Now, I'm not holding my breath on that, but I would not mind Chandler Jones. I mean, I love Chandler Jones. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind, Valdez Scantling or Allen Robinson either. Even Teron Armstead at this point, I wouldn't mind. Just a couple difference makers at those key positions. My biggest thing, Derek, is I think you just need to stop, or you just need to address some of these in free agency, right? Because you can't fix them all in the draft. You just can't, especially without a first round pick. So I think you got it. If you can go get at least 2 of these positions knocked out in free agency, I feel good about it. And if you sign a guy on defense, I've said this before, I'll say it one more time. If you sign a Chandler Jones or, Zadarius Smith or one of those 2 guys, a stud pass rusher on the edge, if you sign one of those guys, you don't have to touch the defense at this point, in my opinion. Maybe you sign a depth piece here or there, but really you can focus all in on that passing offense, which is amazing. Obviously that's a huge thing, a huge task this offseason to address, but you can really address it. You can go all in on trying to find your next quarterback, knowing that your defense is pretty set for the next couple of years. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. Jarvis Landry is another one that, definitely could be interesting, but again, like I said, I don't think he wants to come to Indianapolis because he wants to go somewhere with a quarterback.
Well, I hope we figure out the quarterback situation sooner rather than later. So maybe a guy like Jarvis will actually consider coming here.
Right.
That would be nice.
Man.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all I got.
I think that's everything. So yeah, thank you guys again for tuning in to this stream. Again, day 2 of NFL free agency underway. We'll see what happens, but somebody asked you one last question. How much will Chandler Jones cost?
Ooh, man. Bro.
You don't know.
What?
You don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows because Chandler Jones said that money doesn't matter.
I mean, yeah, but it does, though.
Of course it matters, but at the end of the day, he said, again, he's not going to just pick the team that gives him the most money. He's going to, he's going to want something that's going to, enhance his career.
I mean, Gregory got $70 million on 4 years. So, and there was reports that the Colts were kind of in on Gregory, so it seems like they're trying to upgrade defensive end.
Right, but I mean, Gregory's also a little bit younger than Chandler. A little bit.
But he's 29. But
which is 2 years, over 2 years younger.
But he only had 6 sacks, Chandler Jones is a lot more of okay, we know what we're getting with him. Gregory's good, he's a good player, but Chandler Jones has consistently been that way. So
oh yeah, he's gonna get anywhere above 15. There's no question about it that Chandler Jones is going to get something above 15 million a year.
Yeah, he deserves every penny of it because he's a dog out there.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
All
yeah,
right.
Matt Ryan would be a Band-Aid. Yeah, 100%.
Maybe a
I mean,
Band-Aid.
if you so in this scenario that you somehow did get Matt Ryan, I mean, you're drafting a quarterback within the next 2 years still. I don't think that impacts that plan, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Marlon Mack's gone. Just going to say that now.
Yeah, Marlon Mack is gone.
Unless we can somehow play him at slot receiver or something, which is not happening, obviously.
Right.
I'm just joking.
Oh, man. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Hope you all enjoyed. We will keep you up to date with the all the news that we can think of. Thank you guys again so much. And as always, go Colts.